Game one, best of three, Marita Hines Field here in Norman, Oklahoma. The top seed and four-time national champion Oklahoma Sooners taking on the 2009 champs from Washington, a surprise 16 seed in this year's field. The winner of this one, best 2 out of 3, moves out of the World Series to face either JMU or Missouri. All those other games coming up later on. Georgia, Florida is coming up next. And we welcome you to Norman. I'm Beth Mowins along with our gold medal crew, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe also going to be with us today. We begin with the top seed in the tournament, having an historic year, Jess, at the plate. This Oklahoma lineup, average, power, speed, you name it, they've got it.
Beth, they are the best team offensively we have probably seen in college softball history. And you mentioned it, it's all the things. It's the home run, the long ball, the power from the left side, from the right side. They'll beat you with average, they'll beat you with speed, they'll hit it over the fence 142 times already this season. If you look at all the offensive categories, they have blown it out of the water. You look at the record watch for Division I history, that batting average I mentioned, 424, slugging percentage at 814, 142 home runs if you like those. And then the runs per game are almost at 12. And I'm even going to throw in some OPS, that slugging plus batting average, over 1,300 as a team. We've never seen anything like this before. They are unbelievable when it comes to swinging the bat.
Crazy for those offensive numbers for Oklahoma. This game certainly has more of a Champ Series feel than a Super Regional, because Washington features Gabby Plain, the winningest pitcher in the country this year, Smitty, and a couple of other veterans that know how to beat Oklahoma in the postseason.
Well, this is also a very complete team, and they can swing it as well, Jess. This is a program that has a lot of pride, and they do it with the defense, they do it with the bat. Morgan Flores has been outstanding for Washington. 11 home runs, 27 RBIs, both postseason records for UW. How about Sis Bates? She has one hit away from becoming the all-time hits leader, defends it as well, and in the circle it's Gabby Plain, 131 strikeouts. She can make the ball move. This is a very dynamic Washington team. Look for them to do a lot of damage here in Norman.
Also featuring the top 2 defenses in all the land. Game 1, the Norman Super, first pitch coming up. Checking out the Washington Huskies starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One, with Bates at the top and then Bailey Klingler in that 2 spot. 500 batting average at the regional, scored 4 runs. And she leads the way for Morgan Flores, their top run producer and home run hitter in postseason history, right behind her in the lineup. And they will face a bit of a surprise starter here for the Oklahoma Sooners. Michelle Smith, they are going with the freshman Nicole May today.
Well, Nicole May will throw the ball in the upper 60s. She's got really good movement, but you're right, it is a little bit of a surprise. She is a freshman. She is very confident and has a great defense behind her. So what does Nicole May do? She can move the ball around. Nice movement with a rise ball, so she'll run it up in the zone, but she also can work the edges. She's got a lot of spin, and to lefties, she throws almost like a scries. It's a screwball that's going to have a little up, a little out. She'll mix speeds. She's very dynamic. And
there you see in the bullpen the veteran G. Juarez. They also have the undefeated Shannon Sale. But Holly Rowe telling us before the game started, Oklahoma likes Nicole May's defense, with Washington able to play a short game and good speed. And she has a hot hand of late. They really like her demeanor. Ever since a midseason loss to Georgia, she has wanted the ball in big moments. And none bigger than this for Oklahoma. Bates is the 2-time All-American in that leadoff spot. 317 career hits, one more ties her with UW legend Sarah Pickering, all-time #1. And along with Ashley Charters from their 2009 national championship team, the only 3 players with 300-plus career hits. As Bates fouls one off into the netting. grad student trying to extend her collegiate career. To third, gobbled up there by Jana Johns. One down. It's a defense for the Sooners that has committed just 15 errors all year. That's one every 19 innings. And they are led by their shortstop, Grace Lyons, the player of the year in the Big 12 Conference. One away for Bailey Klingler. Transfer from Texas A&M, spent the first half of the season at second base. They moved her over to third base so they could get Taryn Atlee back in the lineup. Taryn hitting in the 7 spot.
Bailey coming to Washington to play with Sis Bates, had watched her. And we'll get into all the defensive.
Jana Johns, 2 for 2, 2 down.
All the defensive amazingness that Sis Bates is, but it's pretty cool to think that there's celebrities even within teams while they're playing. She was at Texas A&M. She watched Sis at Washington and was like, I want to play with her. Both of the middle infielders, as you mentioned, Beth, throughout the first half of the season now share on the left side.
Morgan Flores, another one of the grad students out of Cypress, California, 60-plus career home runs. First team All Pac-12 selection, an All-American 2 years ago. The last full season, of course, no NCAA tournament due to the pandemic last year. This was a Washington team that made it to the semis. In fact, the last 3 tournaments, semis, Champ Series, and semis. I mean, they have been making deep runs under Heather Tarr, their former All-American player. Coming low and in, got Morgan to try and chase it down. Just underway, game 1, best of 3. Winner on to the Women's College World Series. May, same pitch, same location, 2-2.
Wow, not afraid to go underneath the hands of one of the best hitters in the game, Morgan Flores, with all that power, 12 home runs on the year. And May is battling. She's challenging her on that drop ball in the inside corner.
Good hold there by Flores. You saw her swing and miss at the same pitch before that. You get 2 strikes and it starts to get in your head. Don't swing at it, don't swing at it. But this is the maturity. Watch her. Oh, you want to bite. Her lower half does, but she holds her hands back.
Full count. Got her with the off speed. And a good start for Nicole May. And the most potent lineup in the nation. Picking up the bats when we come back. Capital One starting lineup for the Oklahoma Sooners with Tiare Jennings and Jada Coleman, the 2 youngsters sandwiching Jocelyn Alo. 28 home runs this year, enjoying one of the best seasons for a hitter in the history of the game. Flirting with the national triple crown. Average power, she's driving in runs. She is one to watch amongst what is 1 through 9, an absolute grind for an opposing pitcher. And nobody better up to the task than Gabby Plain, the Australian Olympian, leading the country with 32 wins on the year.
Well, and those 331 strikeouts are second most in Division I. She has outstanding movement in the lower half of the zone, and that allows her to keep the ball in the yard. But she'll also throw a curveball that she'll run away from righties. She can go up in the zone. She tunnels all of her pitches so they look the same coming out of the hand, and that's why she's so deceptive. She'll also mix speed, so look for her to have to move the ball around. Again, 10 home runs given up for Gabby Plain, which is not a lot. 2 last weekend, back-to-back. Michigan hit off of her, but if she can keep the ball in the yard, that's going to be the massive component to beating this Oklahoma team.
A lot of weight on her shoulders and the defense behind her. Heather Tarr says it is the foundation of their program. The second best fielding percentage in the nation this year behind Oklahoma, just 23 errors, led by their shortstop, Sis Bates, the 3-time Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. Jennings, the front runner for National Freshman of the Year honors. She and her teammate Jada Coleman, 2 of the 3 finalists, along with Valerie Cagle from Clemson. But Jennings and Coleman, a monster impact on this Oklahoma offense. TJ hit .666 in the regional with
doubles.
6 extras. Drives it opposite, out of the reach of Sarah Willis. Looking for another double, and she's got one.
Right out of the gate. I mean, we were talking about her numbers last week at regionals, and Gabby Plain, it's not a bad pitch. Look at the location. This is off the plate. Actually, not even a strike. Tiare Jennings just takes the barrel to this. Because of that, gets to the right of Sarah Willis, an easy double to lead off for the Sooners.
Now the challenge right away with an offense that averages nearly 12 runs per game. They hit 12 home runs in their 3 games at the regionals here last weekend. And here is the nation's leader.
The biggest thing, Smitty, I feel like with some of Gabby's pitches, I mean, she'll throw that drop ball, but that last curve that she got away was up in the air. Tiare Jennings put a 60% swing on that, but when it's up, you can drive it.
Alo launches, got out in front. A long way foul. Out into the home run village.
Well, and just to your point, you can't miss with this Oklahoma team. You cannot miss off the plate and elevated.
Look at that. That's another 500 or so folks watching on a big screen. Just wanted to be a part of the atmosphere here today with a packed house in the postseason. Alo did check. Gabby Plain is 14-2 in her postseason career. She's faced the Sooners a couple of times, has not given up a run. She got a win against the Sooners in the Women's College World Series in 2018 when the Huskies eliminated Oklahoma. That was a year after Oklahoma won the national championship and beat Washington in the 2017 World Series, and Sid Romero homered off of Taryn Alvelo in that game. Now the first base coach for OU. Here's the 2-2 to Alo. This All-American matchup. Full count. Cam Ellison calling balls and strikes today. Bubba Ewald at first, Carlos Guzman second, and Megan Rabin, the third base umpire, for game 1 of our Norman Super. Rips one foul. Patty Gasso, 27th season. The 4 national championships, 3 of those in the last decade. With what they love to call the championship mindset. Year in and year out, that's what they try and bring every time they take the field. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. 1 down.
And how about Gabby Plain going right underneath the hands of Alo? A couple of really hard foul balls down the left field line, and then paints this pitch a drop ball on the outside corner. Look at the over-the-top rotation. Flores sticks it. Alo watches it. First strikeout looking of the game.
And she took 2 before that, Smitty, that were close, clearly not wanting anything to do with low and away.
Jada Coleman swinging away at the first pitch, loops that foul. She had been in the 4 spot in the order. They bumped her up because they want Kinzie Hansen right behind her. Kinsey's been on a home run explosion the last couple of weeks after she was snubbed for all Big 12 honors. She decided to show everybody what they were missing out on. And so they'd like Coleman to be on base. And nobody better than Jada in the country. She has reached every single game this year, all 50 of them for the Sooners.
And we'll reiterate, she's a freshman.
That's a pretty good little move from high school to college ball.
Yeah.
Smooth transition.
There's probably no one with more confidence than Jada Coleman, too. I mean, I know she's a freshman, but I mean, she just exudes it. And you'll see her when she's on the base pass, she's on defense. Her teammates talk about how she's constantly keeping smiles on their faces because she keeps it light with the jokes. But even though she's a freshman, no moment is too big because she just wants, she's the type of player that has dreamt of these kind of moments and believes that she can always succeed.
Yeah. She's the #1 recruit in the country from Texas, and out at second base is Jennings, the #2 recruit in the country from California. 0-1 from Gabby. This battery for Washington has been together for the last 4 years. With Morgan Flores behind the plate, they read each other well. They trust each other for their honesty and constructive criticism.
Surprised Coleman showing a little sneaky bunt there late. Sometimes you're doing that to read the defense, but with 1 strike and 1 out, you're the #3 hitter. You want her swinging away.
Absolutely.
Playing ahead here, 1-2. Hit her. 2 on with 1 out.
Looks like a curveball that just comes up, comes in, gets Coleman on the
Michelle,
hand.
as well as they hit it, they don't really need help, which
No.
they're good at getting.
Well, and yeah, they've been outstanding getting free passes this year. 337 free passes on the year, BMO. You know what that average is? 6.72 a game.
Whew.
A game.
That's and when they're only playing 5-6 innings, that's 1 an inning.
Yeah.
They've had 33 run rule victories this year. Here's Kinzie Hansen, the 4 spot in the order, with 2 on and 1 out. Popped it up. Bates out on the grass. 2 down.
Huge out for Washington. After the Jada Coleman hit by pitch, I mean, you get runners at first and second, less than 2 outs. We've talked a ton about how great this offense is, but a lot of it has to do with just where finding the holes, putting the ball in play, putting pressure on. When you get a weak fly ball on an 0-0 count, that is a huge win for UW.
Got to stay close with OU. They've scored 215 runs this year just in the first 2 innings. And here is Nicole Mendez out in right field today. Obviously, they have come out ready to go. First pitch offerings. She is their last link to that 2017 National Championship team when the Sooners went back-to-back. Was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year and on the All-World Series team as a rookie. Terrific speed at first and second here for OU. Nicole hit 400 at the regional, hit a couple of home runs. In fact, had a Oklahoma postseason record, 7 runs batted in their win against Morgan State. Another 2-strike count for Gabby Plain. And a second hit batter to load him up. A double and 2 hit batters, and that'll bring up Grace Lyons.
And this is just a changeup that gets away from her. Not typical of Gabby Plain. It looks like just 10 hit batters coming into this game, 2 in this inning.
Junior from Arizona. 3-year starter at short. And another hit batter, and that'll bring in a run, and that will get Heather Tarr out of the dugout wondering if the batters aren't leaning in. Boy, she is laying into Cam Ellison.
We'll get another look at this hit by batter, but the first 2 hit by batters were definitely not leaning in at all. Jada Coleman, in fact, tried to back away, and it hit her a changeup to Mendez that was clearly at her thighs.
Well, and remember, in between innings, Coach Tarr came out and really took a look at the batter's boxes that look too close to home plate. This is a rise ball that gets up and in, and she gets hit on the hand, Lyons does, but look at the chalk.
Wow.
Okay, normally the river should be 6 inches, and you can see specifically on the left-handed batter's box, it is far too close, and she questioned that. Before innings, she came in and she put her hand down and questioned the distance between the chalk line and home plate, and you can see it's clearly too short, which means the hitters are going to be closer to the plate.
Wow. I mean, is that a consideration even to re-chalk those? That is...
I would definitely be asking for it.
Well, when you have 3 hit by batters from a pitcher that's
Exactly.
only had 10 all season, and that's, I mean, like I said, the first 2 were going to be hit no matter where they were in the batter's box. That last one was a lot closer.
So a run in for Oklahoma. Bases are still loaded with 2 outs for Taylon Snow. The first baseman batting in the 7th spot in the lineup. Started out her career at Auburn. And now her 2nd season with Oklahoma. Bates. Got it. They will leave the bases loaded, but a run in, 3 hit batters. And Tiari Jennings, who started it with a double, comes in to score for the 1-0 lead. And Washington is still out here questioning the shape of the batter's box around home plate.
Well, and I agree with that. I think that we have rules and regulations on how the field should be set up. Jess, I 100% agree. The couple of those hit batters, they would have been hit no matter what. But it's still the perception. What you look at as from a pitcher standpoint, a catcher standpoint, it looks different when the hitters are closer to the plate, if the chalk lines are off, if the chalk lines are crooked.
So Gabby Plain is now coming down to look at that batter's box as well, and that'll give us a chance here to check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, this start to this ball game already adds a little more fuel to the Washington Huskies fire. They were very upset on Selection Sunday when their names were not called until the 16 seed, meaning they had to go on the road for this super regional. They were so upset they walked out of their meeting, and they have been on a tear ever since, trying to show that they've been disrespected as the 2nd place team in the Pac-12. Even Patty Gasso said where they're seated is ridiculous. And guys, take a look at what happened before the game today. As I was walking into the ballpark, the Huskies were on their bus, and the bus was rocking. This fired up Huskies team is bringing their own energy to this ballpark. Their chips on their shoulders are big, and I have a feeling that this batter's box, this is going to be a controversy. Make no mistake about it. They already complained about it before a single run was scored. Heather Tarr was on record saying it wasn't right. More fuel to this fire that's already pretty hot.
Well, Holly, you absolutely have to chalk this up to potentially some gamesmanship from the home team here. And the fact that they have complained about it, there hasn't been anybody out to measure it or make sure that it's okay. But 3 hit batters getting a run across for the Sooners in a 1-0 lead.
I'm actually surprised the umpires haven't asked, for it to be measured. I mean, typically if a pitcher asks or a coach asks, they will verify that the field is correct.
Well, at some point, you got to get back in the dugout and just tell Gabby, you got to focus on home plate. You got to focus on what your catcher, and this is part of the adversity that you know that you're going to face. You don't know that it's going to be batter's box lines, but if they're not going to change it, you've got to be able to adjust.
4, 5, and 6 due up here for Washington. Sammy Reynolds, the left fielder. Facing Nicole May, back out there to work. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout in the top half of the first for the Sooner freshman. This is a good look. We talked about a Michigan team that had not one ace, but 2 deuces. Well, this is now the ace against the trace, because Oklahoma, there's a good chance we could see 3 different pitchers in the circle today. They don't have a lot of complete games. It's been totally by committee. With the emergence of May to go along with Shannon Sale and G. Juarez.
They all bring different weapons to the circle. G. Juarez, the lefty. Shannon Sale with more velocity and movement.
Missed away. Both of them are up right now. Shannon Sale 16-0 on the season. Senior from Land O'Lakes, Florida. And Juarez is the 2-time All-American from Arizona. Has been to the World Series with 2 different clubs, ASU and Oklahoma. But the feeling for Patty Gasso and pitching coach Jen Rocha today was with May.
Well, May was very confident in the pregame or the pre-tournament presser. She has a lot of swagger on the mound. And she also talked about the fact that, hey, there's 9 of us. She talked about her defense and how good they are behind her. There's 9 of us and 1 of you in the box, so she's like, why shouldn't I be confident? Not to mention an offense that puts a lot of runs up on the board.
In their big Oklahoma State series, she had a win and a save. She was also the winning pitcher on in relief in the region final last weekend. This is her first start in over a month. Reynolds launches one deep, straightaway center, back goes Coleman, and it's gone! And the Huskies channel that anger and send it out of the yard. 1 apiece. Welcome to Game 1 of the Norman Super Regional, with the top seed Oklahoma Sooners and the 16 seed Washington Huskies, and this is what just happened. Sammy Reynolds, who was 2 for 21 in her last 9 games, with the solo shot.
They've been pitching Sammy Reynolds all outside, everything almost just the outside part of the plate to the other batter's box, and May misses on a full count, middle. A game that's already had some back and forth. Oklahoma getting on the board with a hit by pitch. Some complaints coming from the Huskies dugout about the batter's box being too close to home. We're early in this game, but you can feel the intensity. No doubt that it's already tied up 1-1.
Alabama with the 1-run win over Kentucky, so the first higher seed win of the Supers after last night's upsets by Florida State and Virginia Tech. Beth Mullins, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, and Holly Rowe with you. And Noelle He out in front of the off-speed 1 and 2. Her second strikeout for May, 1 down.
Nice recovery by the freshman. Gives up a solo shot and then comes back with a big strikeout on back-to-back changeups. So she uses the changeup as the setup and then comes back with it again on the outside corner. Really good backward rotation and paints that outside with the changeup for a second strikeout of the game.
I'll bring up Kelly Lynch, playing first base. Sophomore from Noonan, Georgia, former high school National Player of the Year. Drove in 3 runs against Michigan Sunday in the region final. They had to beat the Wolverines twice to advance, coming out of the losers bracket in Seattle. Lynch grounds it to Jennings. 2 down. I think the real surprise of Selection Sunday was the fact that they were the 16 seed. I think a lot of the experts had them pegged in the top 8, maybe as high as a 4 seed after they finished in second place in the Pac-12. And they tried to channel that anger and frustration into positives. And I think Patty Gasso had a great line this week for Oklahoma. What was Washington's problem has now become Oklahoma's problem. Because you're not doing the top seed in the tournament any favors by sending them Wichita State last week and now Washington this week.
This is a World Series game. And to be honest, last weekend for Washington against Michigan was a super regional game. I mean, the teams have earned that. Washington taking second place in one of the harder conferences in all of softball, the Pac-12, and Patty's right. This is a team you know you're going to face, but you don't want to face them in a super.
Taryn Atlee, a question about where exactly that pitch was located. She's down 0-2, the senior from Sacramento. Grounds it down the line to Snow, steps on the bag. But a home run ball from Sammy Reynolds to bust out of a slump and tie this thing up. Jess?
Sammy Reynolds, Oklahoma goes up 1 run. She fires back with a long one to tie it up for the Huskies.
Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com. And USAA Insurance, auto, renters, and home insurance.
An electric atmosphere, sold out crowd. They're sitting out in the Home Run Village watching on a big screen. Everybody wants to be a part of the Norman Super here at Oklahoma. Tied at 1 as we move to the bottom of the second. Already fireworks, both figuratively and literally. A home run ball for Washington. 3 hit batters and some questions about the batter's box already. And we're only in the second inning. Beth Bowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe with you. First of our best of 3 series. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for Oklahoma. This is Jana Johns, the transfer from South Carolina out of Calhoun, Georgia. Had a couple of runs batted in, scored 3 times in their regionals. 3 games, 50 runs scored, 12 home runs hit last weekend. In a regional final where they beat Wichita State 24-7, they had an 8-run inning and a 10-run inning. In a microcosm of their season, it's been one of the best hitting displays in the history of the game as they make an assault on all the record books. Is that dollar bills out there?
Money. She's money.
It's for the batters box.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, the grounds crew. Leave some money.
Here's the 2-1 to Johns. Bates backs up a step, swings it over to first. One down. We've got more on the batter's box, I think, right here with Holly.
Well, guys, I did go ahead and just check with the Secretary Rules editor for the NCAA softball, Vicki Van Cleek, and the home plate umpire can stop this game and measure. If there is a question about this right now, it has to be 6 inches from the corner of the plate to the batter's box. And Heather Tarr, I believe, will have to protest this to get that measurement done. We'll see what she does, and maybe we can talk about it in the 4th inning.
Holly, we're looking right now at the considerable difference between the batter's box lines last week and today. That is both here at Norman, the regionals last week and the supers this afternoon. And, you know, as you can see, it's quite obvious that the lines of the inside of the box are closer to home plate today.
Especially look at that right side for the left-handed batter's box. And the whole reason for the rule is so if you're in the batter's box, you're not hanging over the plate. We've had 3 hit batters from Oklahoma batters that Gabby Plain has hit in the 1st inning.
And a pitcher's success is you've got to be able to throw on the inside corner of the plate. And if you can't, then hitters split the zone and they look outside. And you put yourself in a bad position. And Sandy Koufax said it the best. He said, show me a guy who can't throw on the inside corner and I will show you a loser. You've got to be able to establish the inside corner.
1-1 to Mackenzie Donahue. Of course, the other rule that we saw called a couple of times in the regionals last week is, you know, the slappers have to keep both feet in the batter's box when they're slapping. So if the lines are closer, that allows them to step more in and towards the pitch as a lefty slapper. Snagged at third by Klingler. 2 down.
Well, and I think the other thing that's, to me, a little puzzling and intriguing is that typically there is a box that you put down so that there is no question. It's not, you know, measured. There's a form that is put down and you line the field using that form. So the fact that it's off is truly puzzling.
Back to the top. Tiari Jennings doubled and scored a run back in the 1st. Fouls that one back. Has extended her hitting streak now to 8 straight games. 14 runs batted in, 13 runs scored over that stretch. Just a freshman. Number 1 in runs batted in nationally, number 2 in batting average and home runs. A remarkable start to her career. The NCAA freshman home run record is 30, set by former Sooners Jocelyn Allo, current Sooner Jocelyn Allo, and former Sooner Lauren Chamberlain, who is the career leader with 95. Right back to Plain. 3 up and 3 down. Even at 1 apiece through 2.
Is the party that every player wants to be at.
It's going to be passionate softball for sure.
Back to crown a national champion for the first time since 2019.
They get to chase history here.
And we are headed back to Oklahoma City. How about the upper deck, folks? Tickets are available online, ncaa.com/WCWS, as we are now going to full capacity for the Women's College World Series, which gets underway Thursday, June 3rd, with our quadruple header beginning at 12 Eastern. Missed out on the World Series last year. Everybody thrilled to be headed back. And now just a matter of determining which 8 teams will be there. Winner of this one would match up with the winner of the JMU Missouri Super Regional. JMU unseeded, one of 3 unseeds to reach the Supers. Trying to get to their first ever Women's College World Series. And the Missouri Tigers, fantastic season out of the SEC, finished in 4th place in the league, got the overall 8th seed, and were dominant in the regionals last weekend. 8-9 and the top. Willis lines to Jennings. 1 down. Jalen Alchin is the sophomore out of Huntington Beach, a top 5 recruit, arriving in Seattle a couple of years ago. Missed several weeks due to injuries earlier this season. Has bounced back strong. She had a home run against Michigan on Sunday. And pulls that one through the right side and beats out the throw back in. And on the overthrow, Alchin will head for second. And the rare miscue by the top defense in the country. I believe that'll be a base hit and an E9 on the throw from Mendez.
Well, there's no reason to make that
I was
throw.
gonna say,
Alchin was 5 feet beyond the bag.
Plus she was playing that do or die, like she was throwing out a runner at home.
Well, now you've got a runner in scoring position for Sis Bates in the top of the order. Grounded to third, back in the first. Her teammates say she's the spark plug for this Washington lineup. Actually was struggling the last month of the regular season and then cranked it back up in the regional, hit .412 last week.
Always got the gum going, got the chew, bubble gum.
35th postseason game of her career. Chops it right back up the middle. Lyons will make the throw over to first. And Bates beat it out. Runners on the corners with 1 down.
Part of the reason that Sis Bates is so good at shortstop is because she is quick. She can get down the line. Grace Lyons going to grab that ball near second base. Long throw, but
Good call.
Sis Bates absolutely beats that out. Very good call.
Just what Washington wanted, an opportunity for Bailey Klingler with runners on. Grounded to third, her first time up. And now her second look at the freshman Nicole May in the circle. A 6-game hitting streak. In fact, over her last 18 games, batting over 500. May misses away 1-1.
Heather talks about Klingler saying, you know, I almost want her to have more strikeouts, which you never hear a coach say, but at least the last few years. And she said the reason why is I want her to take more of those hacks. In this situation, runners in scoring position, a lot of times she just tries to get to contact, wants to get on base. But she's like, she is our power hitter. There's times I don't mind if you swing and miss. Her understanding kind of the evolution of the game that way.
Just 9 strikeouts on the season. Her on-base percentage is better than 500. But they don't just want her on here. They want to bring somebody in. Looking for the lead. Klingler skies it. Lyons. And the runners will have to stay put. 2 down. Big get there for Nicole May.
Well, the freshman Nicole May doing a good job in a tough situation to get out one of the biggest hitters. So work low in the zone, go outside for a ball, and then induce this pop-up on a pitch that Klingler really could have driven and got underneath it.
Morgan Flores. In her 6th year with the Huskies. playing in her 30th postseason career game. A 349 hitter with school records for the NCAA tournament. 11 taters, 27 RBI. Flores will drive Coleman back to the track at the base of the wall, makes the catch. Couple hits and a couple of stranded as May works out of the jam, even at 1 apiece in Norman.
We were playing softball in February here in Clearwater. The amount of great matchups that we have and great teams here, unparalleled.
We have some of the best talent in the country.
The best ticket, the hardest ticket to get in town. If you are a softball fan, this is a place that you want to be.
Hope you'll be with us at the beach next February. We have in our featured event today 2 of the 3 finalists for National Player of the Year honors, and Gabby Plain and Jocelyn Allo. Of UCLA just suffered her first loss of the year last night. And Allo, huge numbers. One of the best hitting seasons in history. Gabby Plain leading the country with 32 wins. She's number 3 at the start of the day in strikeouts on the season. 4 times in history, the National Player of the Year has helped their team to the national championship, including Washington's Danielle Laurie and Kaylani Ricketts of Oklahoma. Garcia did it last year. And the other Player of the Year to help her team win
Lauren
the
Hager.
national championship. Lauren Hager is correct. Florida Gators.
He's hitting pitchers.
Allo gets a hold of one and sends it into the crowd out in left center. Home run number 29 on the season as Jallo goes yard. An absolute laser to left center.
Jocelyn Allo gets a pitch, and remember, they had thrown her low and away, Smitty, the entire bat. She struck out looking, did not want anything. The fact that they come middle in, I get you got to establish the inside part of the plate, but not against Jocelyn Allo. This is a whole red zone you just don't throw to, and that's in it.
Yeah, it almost looked like they're trying to throw her back door, maybe at her, and she just left that over the plate. Allo punished it.
Is that the ignition switch for this Oklahoma offense that has now hit 143 home runs on the season? Look at Jocelyn, games with a home run, 27 of them. In this, their 51st game of the year. Second in Oklahoma history behind the NCAA career leader, Lauren Chamberlain.
Take a look at that location. I mean, you talk about cookie zone. And look at, because of Allo, look at where she's opened up that front side, so it allows the barrel to get to that inner half so easily. The power.
Has given the Sooners the lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. Jada Coleman. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, I was speaking with Jocelyn Allo before the game, and she is in such a great place right now, not only mentally but physically. She's lost about 20 pounds. She's feeling as good as she ever has in her Oklahoma career. And Patty Gasso said it best. She said, you know, she hit 30 home runs, set a freshman record, so she thought she had to hit 40 the next year, 50 the next year. Well, she has reset her mentality. She's relaxed, she's comfortable, she's feeling great physically and mentally, and it shows.
Coleman slices that foul.
Holly, this is Allo, Jocelyn Allo player. Sat out for 2 weeks her sophomore year. You look at the most career home runs in D1 history. Chamberlain, her teammate at 95, leading the way. Katiana Mauga, Stacy Newman, one of the all-time greats. Jesse Harper could catch it this year. Arizona's still going, and Jocelyn Allo saying, don't forget about me.
She has already announced she will be back next year. And Jesse Harper, by the way, 7 o'clock tonight on ESPNU. Arizona is at Arkansas in our only head-to-head Pac-12 SEC showdown in the Supers.
And to Holly's point, she just looks like she's having fun, and she's playing free, and isn't that what every player wants? Every coach wants for their players, just to be relaxed, playing free, enjoying the moments.
I think part of that freedom, as you guys can attest, your playing careers, when you embrace the fact that you are one of the best and you're making history and you want those moments, you crave those moments. She said she fully appreciates the fact that her dreams as a child are unfolding before her very eyes in the moment as she's playing them out.
It's the pressure is a privilege mentality.
Bates out on the grass. Coleman is retired, 1 down.
They have this great feature on Jocelyn Allo that came out today on ESPN.com. Check it out because, a lot of times you see these stories, you talk about how much fun she's having, but you don't really understand the road, the path to get there, the failure. I alluded to it earlier. She was kept away from softball in the middle of season. Her sophomore year, Patty Gasso said, you are miserable. You had a great freshman year. You're struggling with the numbers. You're going to stay away from the team, stay away from softball, stay away from Twitter. She took away her TV. She took away her social media and said, I want you to just live. I want you to breathe. And the article really dives into that failure that she had to face head on and get back to why she plays the game of softball she has. And to your point, Smitty, she's loving it, and she understands now why she played it in the first place.
A terrific job by Patty and the Sooner coaching staff to recognize that, to find the remedy.
Well, because another part of that component is typically if you're not happy and you're miserable, that can spread through a team, and that's the last thing that you want. You want that dugout, you want that energy to move throughout. You don't want that heaviness. And a lot of times, we do forget these are 18 and 19-year-olds, and when they're freshmen and sophomores, and the pressure can be a lot. It can be heavy on the shoulders.
Kinsey Hansen in the box. Playing in for a strike, 2-1. Kinsey popped short in the first. The Big 12 tournament MVP with 5 home runs. Followed that up in the regionals, batting .600 last week. Chops it to Bates, well positioned, 2 down.
I think it is something, though, to be conscious of. I mean, Patty Gasso even removes statistics from the website because now, and not that you can hide from it, we're all talking about it, it's on social, but you get caught up in the numbers, you do. And when you have some of these freshman campaigns, we're seeing it with Tiara Jennings, Jada Coleman, I mean, you're a superstar. I mean, you walk around here in Norman and they are just fans and they know your numbers, they know your stats, but a lot of your identity is defined by that. So you have to kind of get back to how do you play this game?
Yeah, and just, you know what it's like. Pitchers couldn't wait to try to strike you out. Hitters couldn't wait to get a hit off me. I mean, and so that's how it is for a lot of these Sooners, is that they, opposing pitchers, they celebrate like they've won a national championship if they strike them out or if they get them out, and the pressure can be undaunting at times. So not worrying about the numbers and just playing free is where you have to be.
It is an incredible fan base. They've been packing Marita Hines Field for years. They are excited. They have some plans in place for a new facility because they can attract even larger crowds. The Oklahoma Sooner softball nation is hot right now. The 3 national championships in the last decade. The #1 seed again this year, the 3rd time in their history. Playing in the dirt there, 1-2 to Mendez. Look got Patty Gasso coming up, by the way, after the break. She'll chat with Holly Rowe. Patty, we trust. There you go. Slow roller to Klingler. In time to get the out. But Alo goes deep, and Oklahoma has the lead.
Just your home run leader, folks. She goes from 28 to 29 to get her Sooners on the board 2-1. Oh, they're on the board.
On the board.
Super Regionals presented by Capital One. We are here with Patty Gasso from Oklahoma. And Coach, you went with the freshman, Nicole May, getting her first postseason start today. What made you decide to put her in the circle today?
Throwing some quality pitches, handling herself really well right now. Has had a really good competitive spirit at practice, so thought we would reward that.
Here today, she looks so natural out there. What do you think of when you see her step into the box?
I missed your first.
Jocelyn
Allo. A veteran, an absolute lover of breaking down hitting, knows what she wants, how she wants it, when she wants it. So, I don't know, she's the best I've seen. I love Lauren Chamberlain. They're very, very neck and neck, but Jocelyn's very focused this weekend.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Coach.
you.
What an honor to coach both of them, right? Lauren Chamberlain and Jocelyn. Most coaches would love to have one of them, one every 10 years. She's had 2 of them within 4 years.
Well, and she's got more coming. I mean, that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
About a lot of these teams now. I mean, to see so many freshmen succeed early and come in all these accolades out of high school, usually it's a little humble pie when you get to the big leagues and D1 softball, but they're ready a lot more now.
Sammy Reynolds to lead things off here in the top of the 4th. Reynolds, the solo home run to lead off the 2nd inning for UW today. Chops it to Jennings, who has to hurry. Reynolds beats it out. Good speed down the line. And a few infield hits today for Washington.
A little home run, first at bat and then second at bat. Literally textbook slap too, to be able to get the ball high enough in the air to clear the pitcher, Nicole May. As soon as she cleared the pitcher and got to the middle infielders, it was a base hit all the way.
Well, he struck out on a change in the 2nd. 2 strikeouts so far for Nicole May. And the 4 hits allowed. He out of Orange, California, the senior, had a home run in the regionals last week. For Nicole May in her first start since April 18th against Texas. She's been a reliever for the last 6 weeks. And getting the call, her first postseason nod. Benefited greatly from their trip to Georgia middle of the season after a 33-0 start. She took the loss against the Bulldogs in extra innings, and Patty Gasso points to that doubleheader midweek as the real turning point for the season. It added a grit, it added a little more heat to their daily grind. Put them in the pressure cooker, and a valuable learning experience for the Sooners. They've been tearing it up since, just 1 loss to Oklahoma State. But they have continued to blast away at opponents, and as good as the offense has been, I think somewhat overshadowed is the fact that this pitching staff has led the country with 22 shutouts this year.
A great defense behind them. Opportunity to pitch relaxed, knowing they have the defense and the run support.
Called strike 3. Third for Nicole May, 1 down. We've got a trio of NBA playoff game 3s coming your way tonight. We'll get things started at 7 Eastern with Knicks Hawks, and then Nets and Celtics. And we'll cap the night with the Clippers Mavs on ESPN. All 3 games also available on your app. Don't need to miss a possession of the NBA tonight. All day long on ESPN2 and ESPNU are Super Regionals. Next on ESPN2, Texas, Oklahoma State. And later tonight on E2, Game 2, UCLA, Virginia Tech, the defending champs in a must-win situation. The throw down in time to get Sammy Reynolds. And that's why most teams don't even bother trying to run on the Sooners.
Just the 6th time all season long that anyone has tried to run against Kinzie Hansen. She is the best catcher in the country. Only 2 have succeeded. This is why, and even here she has a hesitation, but the quick release, the perfect location of the throw to make the tag easy. You talked about the defense behind. A lot of times we look at the infield, but Kinzie Hansen behind the plate has been huge for the Sooners team.
Yeah, and I think Washington, Coach Tarr probably they felt compelled to try to get the runner into scoring position. That's why that strikeout by Nicole Nuahi was big. It's a non-productive out. In that situation, you have to try to put that ball somewhere on the ground, move your teammate up. She strikes out on a changeup. Even if you half swing, bunt it, do something, get it on the ground so you can move your teammate up. But yeah, I mean, you try to run on this team, they're gonna get you.
You just don't see these kind of numbers. I mean, she throws out over 80% of the runners that try. No one tries.
Right.
But you're good if you're at 50%.
Yeah. Well, and that one she stood up. A lot of times she'll throw from her knees.
She reminds me a lot of Aubrey Monroe.
Yep.
One of the best catchers we've seen in the college game, now on the Olympic team.
From the University of Florida. 2-2 to Kelly Lynch. Righties do not have a hit yet for Washington off of May. They've all come from the other side. Two pitch. Got away from her, full count. Lifted out to left, Donahue coming on to make the catch. Side retired, the single erased by Kinzie Hansen on the throwdown. We'll hear from Washington head coach Heather Tarr on the other side.
Welcome back to NCAA Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Here with Washington coach Heather Tarr. And coach, we heard you talking to the home plate umpire about the batter's box. What is the situation right now in your mind?
Well, it was just before the game. I just noticed the batter's box was drawn pretty close to home plate, so I asked to have it re-looked at, and he's like, he looked at it, but I just think it's too close. But it's kind of gone now, so maybe it doesn't matter.
I was going to say, can you insist on a measurement?
I can measure it. That's 6 inches, so it's not 6 inches, but that's beside the point. We got to compete and play the game, and we're doing that. It's a great ball game.
Okay. Gabby playing in the circle, this is a big-time home run hitting team. How composed has she been and really keeping everything good and low in the park?
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously a seasoned veteran and, you know, getting to go up against a great lineup. And she's doing a good job staying in it and giving us a chance to score runs.
Do you think where the batter's box had an impact on her hitting those pitchers at all?
I don't know. It just was a thing, and it kind of all felt.
All right. Thanks, Heather.
Now Gabby playing the 3 innings of work, a couple of hits, the home run to Alo. And then the 3 hit batters led to a run in the first inning. It's a showdown here between a pitcher who, in her against top 5 opponents in her career, has not allowed a team more than 4 runs. And that's on the Gabby Plain resume. 4 runs is the fewest scored in a game this year by Oklahoma. They average close to 12 a night. And right now it is leaning Washington's way, a tight one. And on cue, the Sooner bats respond, and the long single for Grace Lyons. She'll head back to the bag at first. And the leadoff on board here in the bottom of the 4th.
She could have made it all the way to second, but that's not the point. This is another good job by OU hitter, just going with a pitch, and the power that they have with a 70% swing off the back leg into right center field, a big round turn around first base. I think she should have gone for 2 there, but she wanted to be a little more conservative. It ends up being a long single all the way to the wall.
So 1 on for Talon Snow, popped up to short back in the first. Already 6 putouts at short for Sis Base on the ground in the pop-ups today. A lot her way.
Well, it's interesting for Oklahoma. Every single hit has been the first batter of the inning. Super aggressive, swinging at the first pitch.
Jennings double, Alo home run, and Lyons here with the single. Base hit out to left. 2 on with nobody out. And an OU threat in the 4th as we check in with Chris Budden in the studio. Well, the big swing from KB sides. Fouts continues to sling it. Alabama smoking hot right now. And the 1-0 lead over Kentucky. So now the Tide join Virginia Tech and Florida State, 1 win away from the World Series. As will be the winner of this game. It's the opener, best of 3 here in Norman at the Supers. Could be sending a couple of teams later today, a Florida State and Virginia Tech win. Lot of game 2s for you tomorrow, some if necessaries on Sunday. World Series opens next Thursday. And the bunt laid down by Janet Johns. The sacrifice gets the runners into scoring position. There is the opposite side of the bracket. Alabama, LSU, and Virginia Tech all winners. A couple of upsets for the Noles and the Hokies. Arizona and Arkansas getting underway tonight on ESPNU, and we are thrilled to be a part of an historic broadcast here tomorrow. Our game 2, the first ever college softball game on ABC. Coming your way at 3 Eastern tomorrow. Lindsey Elam is the pinch hitter here in the 9th spot in the lineup. And a good call for the Sooners. 5 home runs in her last 5 games.
It's pretty good. off the bench. Your pinch hitter. She didn't make the starting lineup. She has been the DP in a lot of the games. Has caught a few as well, played a little bit of first base. So has been in the starting lineup predominantly throughout the season, but it just shows you the depth of this Sooners offense when they can go to her.
Lions and Snow with singles. The Johns sacrifice bunt. And the first pitch up and away. Gabby playing the All-American, trying to work out of the jam. A lot of comparisons, as you would imagine, to the great Danielle Laurie, the national championship winning pitcher, threw every pitch, every inning for them in the postseason in 2009. Heather Tarr says Gabby's got a similar mentality, seems to get better the more she throws and makes the adjustments each time through the lineup and gets a swing and a miss there.
2-0. 2-0. The mentality, and I get it, you're off the bench, you got adrenaline, you want to make something happen with one swing right here, but on a 2-0, you want to see something over the white part of the plate. You're ready for the pitcher to come back over. That was a ball up and away. She's helping her out.
And the good news for Washington is that Elam is 0 for 5 as a pinch hitter. The bad news, though, for Washington is that with runners at second and third with less than 1 out, or less than 2 outs, she hits 632. So
good and bad news.
Smitty with a deep dive into the situationals.
Love the situationals. But to your point, Jess, she's coming off the bench, right? And so sometimes what do? You're excited to hit, you expand your own strike zone. You play into the pitcher's hand.
It's hard to come off the bench and walk.
Absolutely.
You want to make something happen. You want to swing the bat.
Gabby tried to get her to reach, a nod to Flores. Full count. To the right side, Atlee going back, makes the catch on the grass, the basket, and the quick turn to get the ball back into the infield. 2 down.
This would have just been a routine fly ball, but she was pulled way in, and I thought this ball was going to drop. Atlee does an outfield type move. You got to drop step and go back. She does this perfectly over the head. She makes that look easy, guys. That is such a hard catch because you lose the ball as it comes over your head. Huge second out for the Huskies.
So now top of the order, Tiare Jennings. Doubled and scored in the first and grounded right back to Plain in the second. Sooners do not have a hit yet with a runner in scoring position. They're 0 for 4.
Normally, you'd walk a batter like this. Tiare Jennings, you saw leading the country in RBIs, her batting average, but who's on deck? Just the home run hitting Jocelyn Allo.
Another first pitch swing for the Sooners. Patty Gasso raves about their communication from batter to batter. They actually have a sign-in sheet in the dugout. They will put down notes from their at-bats so that everybody else coming up behind them can follow along. Of course, her son, JT Gasso, works a lot with the hitters. Tremendous game plans for this offensive onslaught this year. One to Jennings. Two and one. Lions at third, Snow at second. Trying to pad the lead here in the bottom of the fourth. Jennings to Bates at short. One hopper to Lynch, who scoops for the third out, and a couple stranded for OU as Plain works out of it. Still a one-run game as we head to the fifth in Norman. Regionals Game 1 here in Norman, Oklahoma. Marita Hines Field sold out, where our Holly Rowe has safely been amongst the people today. Holly?
Well, I've been amongst a lot of people today. That's because this site is sold out. I just want to take a moment to appreciate these softball fans. This is a sellout here at a 2 p.m. on a Friday. I mean, who takes that kind of commitment? These folks here in Norman, Oklahoma, just so proud of what they've built here, the fans that show up and support all these young women. And even the purple section for the UW crowd is pretty loud and strong here. I am loving all the support for softball.
Yeah.
And Beth, I didn't do it safely, though. I did get hit by one foul ball today. It's my first ever. So
are you okay?
I'm okay.
All
Yep.
right.
I'm icing in between innings.
We got to get Holly a glove to carry around on that free hand.
How does she not have a glove? Pull it out of her purse. Like that's what she.
She'll have her own glove, right? Her
Yeah.
own design. I
Yeah,
mean, the
it's
Holly
Holly
Rowe
Rowe.
original.
For all
I wonder
reporters
what
that are
color
on
would it be?
field.
Pink? What color would it be?
Could have a microphone built right in.
They're bedazzled, that's for sure.
Bedazzled for sure. It would have Horo bedazzled in it.
Got the band back together, excited about this weekend, and then on to Oklahoma City next weekend for the Women's College World Series. There's Holly. Is it where'd you get hit, Holly?
Right on the thigh. Good thing I got some
Okay.
extra padding there to help me out with that. It was pretty good. It's going to leave a mark.
It's going to leave a mark.
Yeah.
2-1 Oklahoma with the lead over Washington. Jocelyn Allo's home run is the difference. Nicole May back out there for the fifth inning. 5 innings of work in a game back in February is her longest outing of the season. It's been a pitching staff. None of them have over 100 innings of work this year. They have comboed on 3 no-hitters in a perfect game. 48-2. They are flirting with that conversation of being one of the best teams in the history of the game if they can cap it off with a national championship, which would be a 5th for Oklahoma. Atlee, they go lefty, righty, lefty here at the bottom of the lineup.
Strike before this called at the top of the zone. This one low and away. Ugh. Tell you what, it'd be tough to bunt, which is what she was trying to do. I don't know if she can reach that one.
Well, 7 Innings is the weekly softball podcast with your favorite ESPN personalities covering the sport, entertaining us all the way to Oklahoma City and beyond. Listen now on the ESPN app, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Featuring the popular Shaggin' Stats segment.
I had 2 this week.
Yes,
I couldn't
you
help
did.
myself.
I had an extra one before the game. This is the crazy stat for me. This Oklahoma offense, in this day and age, softball and baseball and all the power pitchers, they have more home runs than strikeouts this year.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
143 to 119. Atlee going oppo. Donahue's there. One down.
A lot of times when you see a team with a lot of home run power, you sacrifice a certain amount of average, but not for this team. It's the complete opposite. They don't swing and miss.
They've had a few close calls this year, but not many. The losses to Georgia and Oklahoma State, that's it. Patty Gasso was, she talked about last weekend, Wichita State put OU in some tough situations. They tried something a little different on Sunday, wanted to see how the team responded. And after they faced their biggest deficit of the year, 4-0, they rallied with just 24 runs. So I'd say the response was a pretty good one.
We were all a little worried watching. We were like, obviously they weren't.
Well, especially because Wichita State was so aggressive, so fearless. I mean, you go against the #1 seed, a team that gets all the hype that Oklahoma has throughout the season, and Wichita State was unfazed, and them grabbing the lead early. It's just that Oklahoma, as you mentioned, responded in an even bigger way. Which is, I think, you know, Nicole May, for example, you know, her having to understand that. She was a perfectionist coming in as a freshman, as so many pitchers are, and didn't understand, okay, if I give up a home run, like, that's the worst thing in the world, and I can't do anything wrong. I can't walk a batter. I can't give up runs. And she's learned throughout this season that, oh, yes, you can. Because on the flip side, she has an entire team not only behind her defensively, but on the flip side offensively as well.
And she mentioned how when she came in the fall, she was little cocky, and she got put in her place because all fall, obviously not playing against anyone with the COVID environment. They did a lot of scrimmaging, and when you have to scrimmage against this offensive team, she learned very quickly. Ooh, she said it was very humbling, and she's worked her way back to understand where she's at and is now very confident in that circle.
And the strikeout for May. That's her 4th. 2 down.
Well, Nicole May has been really good on the corners with the rise ball, mixing speeds, and this pitch up in the zone, and she just chases you. Sarah Willis is going to go upstairs and chase this out of the zone.
Well, it all starts at the top, too, when you think about a player like Nicole Mendez and the senior leadership that she provides. Slow roller right back to May. This is a competitive place every day. Said if you don't like competition, if you're going to shrink away from it, you're in the wrong place. And one of the reasons the Sooners have been so good. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals, presented by Capital One. Game 1 here in Norman, best 2 of 3. And a 2-1 lead, Oklahoma over Washington as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Jocelyn Allo's going to lead it off. This is what she did her last AB.
Well, her first at-bat, anything on the inside corner, she just roped. They attacked her outside, working pitches away, down, curve, off speed, working inside. She rips it again. Go back outside, struck out looking. In her second at-bat in the 3rd inning, look at this pitch. First pitch swinging inside corner, and it is just tattooed out of the park. So anything on the inner half, Allo's just been schmammering, I guess is the word that we use this year.
I like it.
Her 83rd career home run, her 29th of the season.
She's backed off the plate, too, Smitty, to your point, even more. She's in the back end of that batter's box.
And she does such a good job of letting the ball travel deep. Her hands will get in front, and she'll hit that ball inside out. She has taken this year inside pitches and hit them opposite. Just so much bat and barrel control. But again, if you leave something just too sweet on the inner half, she will turn on it and drive it to the scoreboard.
7 home runs leading off an inning this year for Jocelyn, including back in the 3rd. You know, you often hear the 3rd time through the lineup is when it becomes dangerous for a pitcher. Well, for Oklahoma, they don't even need that long. Quite often it's been the 2nd time through. Plain obviously being very careful. This is where the experience comes in with her and Morgan Flores. They're 4 years together. And these 2 All-Americans, Player of the Year finalists. Gabby has held OU 0 for 5 wrist. They've left the bases loaded and on one other occasion 2 in scoring position. Allo's home run, however, 1 shy of the single season record she shares with Lauren Chamberlain. That's the difference right now on the scoreboard. 3-0 pitch. 3-1. and draws the walk. Let's check in with Chris Budden. Thank you, Chris. Well, it's just a great day. All afternoon, all night on ESPN2 and ESPNU. We've already had a couple of upsets. Thriller earlier today, a one-run game. Alabama beat Kentucky, and another one-run game here. Kelly Maxwell and Carrie Eberly have been fantastic this year for Oklahoma State as they get ready to meet Texas once again.
It's going to be a tough matchup for Oklahoma State. Two good pitchers in the circle for the Cowgirls. Kenny Gajewski's done a great job with the offense as well. The defense is going to need to be tight behind them.
As you would imagine, if both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State advance to the Women's College World Series, it'll be bedlam even if they don't play in terms of fan attendance and appreciation. Don't forget, you can get your tickets, ncaa.com/WCWS, but you better hurry. So a runner on board with Jada Coleman. Got a pinch runner into the ball game too here. Riley Boone at first. Alo can re-enter. Riley does have 6 stolen bases on the season. Jada Coleman hit by a pitch and a pop to short. Has now reached base in all 51 Sooner games this year. Slaps it to third. Nice play by Klingler to get her, but it's as good as a sacrifice. Boone over to second, one down.
And they had Boone running on the play. Good job by Washington defense to understand the only play was at first.
Wow,
Boy.
way out of the box. That should have been a
almost touching home plate.
2U, which means Boone should have been held at first base.
Yeah.
Tough break there for the Huskies. For more on Gabby Plain, here's Holly.
Well, as we see a pitching conference here right now, Gabby Plain has had a really unusual last year, like most of us. In March, when everything got shut down, she went back to Australia, where she's from, and she was there until January. Part of it was because of COVID, but then she started training with their national team, trying to make that Olympic squad for Australia for the upcoming 2021 Olympics. And guys, it's been really unusual for her to be away from her team that long, March through January, but she kept strong, she kept mentally strong, competing with those Australians, and it's really hard for her to now come back to college softball, and what a terrific job she's done mentally, physically, staying in shape, doing everything that she had to do to be ready to pitch when the season started again this year.
Yeah, UW wasn't sure that she would be back based on what was going on with the pandemic as well as the Olympic preparations. And she faces Kinsey Hansen and lined up the middle. They're waving Boone around and it gets through Alchin in center. Hansen legging it for third. She's got the green light. They're going to send her. The throw to the plate and she dives in safe. Kinsey Hansen touches them all, 4-1 OU.
And with just a base hit up the middle, would have scored one, but watch Alchin just put her glove up just that last second. And a lot of times with the way that the grass is cut, you almost have to take that extra second as an outfielder, make sure you're going to field it, and Instead, she misplays it. It goes all the way to the wall. And how about, I mean, Little League home run style for Kinsey Hansen coming all the way around to score.
Single and an E8. Drives a run in and then comes around to score herself.
Hutchins spent about 20 more seconds at the wall, just hands on her knees. I mean, feeling that, I've been there. It is the worst feeling in the world, that kind of want to get away, feeling like you want to just disappear. But it happens.
And now with one out, Nicole Mendez.
And how about Oklahoma? First pitch swinging again. Just attacking so early.
This matches the most runs that Gabby Plain has allowed against a top 5 opponent in her career. That's how good she has been against the best. What is that? First pitch swinging 12 times in their 21 plate appearances.
Just aggressive, knowing pitchers like to get ahead early. They're confident in their swings. They go get it.
It's 57%, by the way. Mendez lifts it out to left. Sammy Reynolds under. 2 down. Let's check out the legwork of Kinsey Hansen. Coast to coast.
This is your catcher, folks. I mean, she hits this ball. She's watching all the way. Soon as it gets between the legs of Alchin, I mean, she kicks it into another gear. Again, not the most speed. You see her hesitate around third base. Watching her coach, I mean, that's literally going back to the days of Little League. Right? You're like, just, oh, we got past another, oh, we got past another one.
Patty was wearing out her arm on this one, too. Windmilling her home.
Kinsey's like, are you sure? Where's the ball?
Good work from Coach Gasso. Side is retired. With all the runs they've scored, I'm surprised Gasso's arm isn't ailing a bit more. She's been swinging it all year long for one of the most potent offenses in history. They're up 3.
I'm king of the mountain.
Of the Mountain, the overall #1 seed in the tournament, the Oklahoma Sooners have extended the lead 4-1 over Washington as we head to the 6th inning. It's game 1, best of 3 to advance to the Women's College World Series. Beth Mowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe with you on the road to the Women's College World Series and a busy day of super regional coverage. Alabama already a winner over Kentucky in game 1 in Tuscaloosa this afternoon. Coming up next, Texas, Oklahoma State, Georgia, Florida. Knocked down by May, but Bates is on board for the 2nd time. Top of the order here for Washington, going to try and make some noise late. Sis Bates becoming the all-time hits leader at the University of Washington today. She and Ashley Charters and Sarah Pickering, the only Huskies with over 300 hits, and she passes Sarah with a couple of hits today.
318, her first hit was the tie, and that last hit, 319, was the record breaker.
Tremendous career for the Washington shortstop. It's been a great year for shortstops around the country. 2 of the best here with Bates and Lyons. And Braxton Burnside, monster year at Arkansas. Bree Perez,
Jenna Laird.
UCLA. Jenna Laird, the SEC's freshman of the year at Missouri. Infield pop. Handled by Snow, 1 down, and let's check back in with the studio, Chris. Looking forward to those, you guys. Flores grounds to Jennings at second. 2 down, Bates over to second base.
Chris and Jen in studio. Shout out to them. Spent last week during regionals bopping around all the games. It's so cool to have the coverage, the studio coverage, and to have both Chris and Jen there. They got a lot of eyeballs on a lot of games, a lot of players. It's not easy, but it's fun to get updates, especially in game.
7 innings live. Sammy Reynolds, the home run in the second, and she too pops it up. And the longest outing of the season for Nicole May is a good one, and it continues to the bottom of the 6th, 4-1 Sooners.
Welcome back. How did we get here? Going back to the first inning for the Huskies, they hit 3 batters in a row. Gabby Plain, Tiari Jennings comes around to score the first run of the game. Then fast forward to the second inning, Huskies tie it up with a huge Sammy Reynolds solo shot. That makes it 1-1.
And then the third, Alo comes up first pitch, swinging on the inner half and just laced this ball out of the yard, puts the Sooners on top. And then in the 5th, another base hit up the middle for the Sooners and an error out in center field. Ball goes all the way to the wall, and Kenzie Hansen's going to wheel it around to put the Sooners on top, 4-1.
I do think the real story, though, has been Nicole May. I mean, the surprise start in a lot of ways for the Sooners and her ability to really keep this Washington Huskies offense, who has an ability to score in a multitude of ways. Just the sole shot from Sammy Reynolds, and that's been all for their offense.
Sis Bates had leadoff singles in the 3rd and the 6th, and then she retired Klingler and Flores on both occasions. So the big hitters could not extend the damage. And the innings ended feebly. And now to the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, and to your point, especially in that 3rd inning, because they had
2 on.
Yeah, Alchin was at 3rd, Bates at 1st, and then nothing.
7, 8, and 9 for OU. Snow with a single back in the 4th.
And it always feels like that at championship play. It comes down to the little things. It's productive outs, right? If you're giving up an out, you've got to get something in return, even if it's moving your teammate up 60 feet. Put the ball in the dirt, and that's one of the things Washington has not done. They've popped up weakly in quite a few key situations.
In foul territory, Bates giving chase just out of her reach.
The difference of this game right now, I mean, Jocelyn Alo gets on base with a walk, is moved, well, the pinch runner, Riley Boone, is moved to second base by a productive out. It was a slap and run that Jada Coleman to get her to second, which then led to the error. Alchin never would have come up as quickly as she did to let the ball come by her if there wasn't a runner in scoring position she was trying to throw out. So to your point, putting pressure on the defense by getting runners productive outs, getting them into scoring position.
Snow, Alchin on the move, makes the catch, 1 down.
Well, and to your point, Jess, you know, you start really diving again into the situationals. It's
here she goes again, Beth. Situational.
Well, its ability to move the runners, and when you really look at what Oklahoma does as an offense, they're getting everything, every at-bat.
Janet Johns ground out in the sacrifice.
Ooh, and that. I mean, that's what we've seen. What was it, 60%? You said 57%, but I'm bumping it to 60% with that last swing. Of first pitches for Oklahoma they have swung at. I mean, that wasn't even close to the strike zone. I mean, they were aggressive. I'm not saying every hitter at home's like, okay, go swinging for the fences, but when you're facing one of the best, the goal is usually to get them early.
Well, and at good pitches. Now, obviously, that one wasn't as much, but it comes right back to their success advancing runners. 633. That means over 60% of the time, they're advancing their teammates. It's mind-blowing.
O2 to Johns. Washington, by the way, down to their last at-bat in the 7th. They will have 5, 6, and 7 coming up. Texas and Oklahoma State are on deck. They're actually starting on ESPN News. And then we'll switch them over at the conclusion of our game. And also don't forget tomorrow's game 2, 3 Eastern on ABC. First time ever. And a big moment for college softball and the growth of the game and the popularity of the sport.
Ooh, big swings. See the card come out of the wrist guard there for Jana Johns. My helmet used to fly off.
Well, and that's what makes it even more amazing that they've only struck out coming into today's game 117 times. And this is Gabby playing in the circle, who has 331 strikeouts on the year coming in. And what does Gabby have? One strikeout
in the first inning.
In the first inning, it
Watch
was
the difference in swings, though, with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
So I love the hacks. Early in the count, go for it. A lot to what Heather Tarr was telling Blakely Klingler of Washington. I want you to have more swing and miss in your game.
Sarah Willis, 2 down.
But with 2 strikes, that's when you're thinking more, how can I just make contact? I just literally, you don't want to strike out then. You don't want the big swings then. That's why you get 3. You get 2 opportunities. Get your hacks in. Do it. Go for it. You get to 2 strikes now. Let's put the ball in play. Make something happen.
I'll bring up Mackenzie Donahue, grounded out to third in the 2nd, was lifted for a pinch hitter in the 4th, and then re-entered. Big turnaround for the sophomore from Mustang, Oklahoma. She was a 145 batting average last year. Coming in today, how about 445 batting average? With some home run power. Had a couple hits in the regional final last weekend. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
I love that Patty always has local players, too, on her team. And Donahue being just down the road. Not far from here, Mustang, Oklahoma, and you can hear it in the crowd. They all have nicknames for her. You can get some of your high school teammates. You can get a 3rd grade teacher. I don't know if you want that, but it's the pride. And Heather Tarr does the same with the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest. You have the big name schools from Texas, California, even out in Georgia, but to have your local players, showing, hey, if you do well in this state, I'm watching. I'm here too, and I want Oklahoma to be represented in every way.
And Gabby Plain got her. Last chance coming up for the Huskies. They trail OU 4-1 as we head to the 7th.
The NCAA Softball Super Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Dos Equis. Get a dose. Please enjoy responsibly. And Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
the day for Nicole May so far, guys.
Just working all of her pitches, all quadrants, curveball on the outside corner. She's been mixing speeds really efficiently in the rise ball. How about that, jumping at the top of the zone, keeping Washington off balance, fielding her position. Just a freshman.
And she is the Capital One Player of the Game. In her first start since April 18th, she will try to go the distance, a 5-hitter with 4 strikeouts, the 1 blemish, the Sammy Reynolds solo home run in the 2nd inning.
Which she followed with a strikeout to Noelle He, who's up to bat right now. Smitty, you said it at the time. This is a freshman. Huge super regional game, getting a start when a lot of expected her not to, gives up a big home run to tie the game, comes back with the strikeout, which shows a lot about her mentality and her maturation.
Yeah, no free passes, just attacking the zone, confident in her defense behind her. Not overthrowing, and that's very easy to do when you get in big games. You get too hyped up and you throw through your spins, and her movement is a big part of her game.
And after he struck out twice, she's lifted here for the pinch hitter. It's Megan Vandegrift. On the bat from the left side. All the hits from the left side today for Washington. You talked a little bit about Nicole's story, her maturation that included earlier in the season watching the veterans, Shannon Sale, watching G. Juarez, how they handled themselves, how they prepared for the big games. And Patty Gasso has talked a lot about that. Nicole May wanted to be a baller just like they were. She wanted the big moments. That's why we call it mayhem. On the biggest stage, she's having a big game for the Sooners. And trying to record the last 3 outs. Here's one. Strikeout number 5. 2 outs away from game 1. A reminder, game 2 coming your way tomorrow afternoon. Look at Billie Jean King's taking note, Jess.
Huge fan of all women's sports. The fact that she knew this, we didn't even have to tell her. I talked to her yesterday. I was like, I didn't even have to tell you to promote this. She's just aware. She knows this is going to make history. First time it'll be on ABC.
That's lifted to deep left, and Washington's not done yet. Kelly Lynch, solo home run. And it's 4-2.
Kelly Lynch coming up big here in the 7th inning, takes a miss, a rare one, an off-speed pitch that has just hung through the zone, and Lynch, you know what, she barrels it up, one hand off the bat, but enough on it to get it over that 200-foot fence. 6th home run of the year. Huskies still fighting.
Off the end of the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't even barrel it. And that was off the last like 6 inches of the bat, but does a good job with her legs to lift it.
Her first postseason home run for the sophomore from Noonan, Georgia. And here's Taryn Atlee as they try and rally here in the 7th.
Well, it's interesting. If that home run would have come earlier in the game off of a changeup, sometimes it takes that pitch away, especially from young pitchers. Comes here in the 7th.
Activity in the bullpen now for Oklahoma. Brooke Vestal, Shannon Sale. And that home run ball now brings back into play the error of Jadlyn Alchin out in center field that resulted in 2 Oklahoma runs in the 6th. Alchin may have a chance to come up here in the 7th if they can get something going. And the miscue by Johns. And that will bring the tying run to the plate in Sarah Willis with Alchin on deck.
swear the game always comes back to those that it needs to your point with Alchin, and a rare error for the Sooners. We've now seen 2 in this game from this Oklahoma defense, number 1 in the country. Only 15 errors coming into this game. Postseason adds a whole different level, though.
Bottom of the order for UW, and now they are out of their dugout firing up the away crowd.
Sarah Willis has had a tough go of it. She was 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts last weekend in regionals. Had a strikeout her last at bat against the Rise Ball, getting a lot of pep talks. In fact, Taryn Atley came all the way from first base to kind of grab her on the shoulders, helmet to helmet, and just help give her some confidence.
She's a freshman from Ontario, California. Tremendous pedigree, though. A high school All-American. She may be one of the next in line in the circle for Washington after Gabby Plain leaves. She's a unicorn, a dual threat, trying to make something happen with a bat right here. Swinging at that first pitch, and that will drop in for a base hit, and the tying run is aboard, and here she comes. Jadelyn Alchin will have a shot at redemption.
She had her hands on her knees, her head down in center field after that big air. You could feel the devastation. She took a deep breath. And of course, even she knew it in the dugout probably. This game is going to come back down to my at-bat.
Let's take you back. It was a single for Kinsey Hansen that became a whole lot more after the nutmeg. 2 runs came in to score. Singled in the 3rd, grounded back to the pitcher in the 5th. Oh-1, Alchin to Jennings, to Lyons at short for 1. They do not get the double play, and they will get the out at home. Snow to Hansen for the tag on Atley. And Oklahoma wins game 1, 4-2. A threat for UW in the 7th, and Oklahoma squelches it. 4-2 the final.
Well, we always talk so much about the offense for Oklahoma, but this defense all year long has made the plays. Jennings to Lyons, they go for the double play, they don't get it, but Snow, presence of mind to get that ball over to Hansen for the tag at home. And you can just see the way the tag comes down before Atley can get to the dish. Really good positioning by Hansen to make sure that she is not obstructing. The tag applied, and she gets her before that foot gets to the plate.
Nicole May excited more than anyone, giving up the big home run in this inning. The Huskies seemingly feeling like they were coming back in, and what she's done all season long for her own turnaround is to trust her defense, not go for the strikeout, but allow her defense to work. It does hurt for Washington, though. You think about it, if Atley stays at 3rd, you got Sis Bates, the top of the order, coming back up.
They took a chance. And the final out of the game recorded at home plate. So OU takes the 1-0 lead. Coming up next, Texas and Oklahoma State. We will see you back here tomorrow afternoon, 3 Eastern on ABC. Beth Mowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe. See you tomorrow.